We often hear professional athletes talk about their legacy. Legacy is similar to respect. It's something that money cannot buy. I remember when Anthony Davis was getting ready to leave New Orleans. All he talked about for months was building his legacy. I've got to win rings to cement my legacy. I mean, winning championships, it might add to your legacy, but titles are not the foundation your legacy is built on. Charles Barkley never won a title. He didn't win a title in college, failed to win one at the NBA level. Hell, I don't think Charles Barkley was a champion at the high school level. But in terms of legacy, Charles Barkley has one of the strongest legacies in the NBA. When you think about it, all a legacy really is what people remember about you, how you made them feel, all of the memories, whether good memories or bad memories. Outside of maybe LeBron James, I cannot think of another superstar NBA player, at least in the modern era, who has ruined his legacy more than Dwyane Wade. Throughout his NBA career, Dwyane Wade, one of the most respected players in the league. Now, I was never a fan of the Miami Heat, but I used to love watching Dwyane Wade play. He was one of my favorite players. I was in the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans when he played his last game. Dwyane Wade is a legend in Miami. Hell, he's a legend throughout the state of Florida. Well, he used to be a legend anyway. He may still be a legend to some, but I think most normal people see Dwyane Wade for what he really is. A woke shitfuck. The fall of Dwyane Wade, and when I say fall, I'm talking about his public perception, his public image. The fall of Dwyane Wade, it's inconceivable when you think about it. This dude was the ultimate leader on the court. He taught LeBron James how to be a leader. But just because you're a leader on the basketball court doesn't mean you're the leader at home. Now, I don't know them personally. This is just my perspective from the outside looking in, but it seems to me Dwyane Wade, he is not the leader in his household. That title belongs to his husband, Gabe Union. Dwyane Wade used to be a normal person before he was swept off his feet by Hollywood Gabe. It was a whirlwind romance. Gabe took Wade to places he had never seen before. She showed Wade the promised land. She introduced him to all the woke delicacies, the tossed salad, the supersized cucumber, and of course, the Oscar Mayer special, the grilled woke wiener. Gabe used the supersized cucumber to infect Dwyane Wade with the woke fungus, or as she called it, her lovin'. Poor guy's never been the same. He's been infected so bad, it has caused him to make decisions regarding the lives of one of his children that I don't think Dwyane Wade would have made before Gabrielle Union came into the picture. Before I give you the latest update, let's take a minute to get into the sponsor for today's video, my friend Mark Gonzalez over at First National Bullion. Have you guys noticed the prices at the grocery store lately? Now, I haven't personally since I am clueless when it comes to grocery shopping, but I do see the bill. I listen to my girlfriend complain every time she gets home from the grocery store. No matter what the experts say, inflation is through the roof. There is so much uncertainty right now surrounding the US dollar. Countries like China, Russia, they are starting to trade in their own currencies. What does that mean for the US dollar? If history's a guide, it ain't good. Doesn't matter how much money you have, rising inflation can make your dollar worthless. Luckily, there is a perfect hedge against inflation available to us: gold and silver. My friend Mark Gonzalez over at First National Bullion, he's got plenty of both. Unlike other companies who exchange your hard-earned paper dollars for a nice piece of paper in return, First National Bullion has the real deal, physical precious metals in stock that will be delivered directly to you. Mark can even help you put gold and silver into your individual retirement accounts. When you invest with First National Bullion, they send you actual gold, actual silver. They've been in business for 16 years, and my friend Mark Gonzalez, he is an expert when it comes to protecting your hard-earned money. Reach out to Mark today by clicking the link in the description below, and he will give you a call personally to help you protect yourself against the decline of the dollar and rising prices. All right, back to Dwyane Wade. I should have mentioned this earlier, just in case someone wasn't familiar with the dynamic of the Wade family. I have forgotten that it's been months since we have talked about this, but Dwyane Wade, he's got 4 children. One of them being a 15-year-old son born Zion Wade. Over the last few years, his baby boy has magically transformed into his baby girl. Several months ago, against the wishes of the child's biological mother, Dwyane Wade allowed Zion to legally change his name to Zaya. He also allowed Zion to legally change his gender. For the last 15, 20 years, Dwyane Wade has lived in the state of Florida. Now, if I have my facts right, I think it's illegal in the state of Florida for a minor to pretend to be another gender, even in the rare case there is parental consent. Which is why Dwyane Wade traveled all the way out to California to make sure his son was legally identified as his daughter. Yesterday, Dwyane Wade was the special guest on Headliners, a show hosted by Rachel Nichols on Showtime. They discussed a variety of topics, but the one clip garnering the most attention focused on Ron DeSantis in the state of Florida. After decades of calling Florida home, Dwyane Wade, he claims that he was forced to move his family out of that evil state. Oh, Florida is so evil. They refuse to tax their residents. They also ban books that indoctrinate children with the woke fungus. Dwyane Wade explained to Rachel Nichols why he moved his family out of Florida. Watch for yourself.
Well, I think that's another reason why I don't live in this state. A lot of people don't know that. I have to make decisions for my family, not just personal individual decisions. I mean, obviously the taxes is great. Okay. Having Wade County is great, but my family would not be accepted or feel comfortable there. So that's one of the reasons why I don't live there.
To be honest with you, I don't think Dwyane Wade has any clue about transgender laws in Florida. I would be willing to bet he has not read one of these bills that Ron DeSantis has passed. I can tell you who did read them. I did. Dwyane Wade claims his family wouldn't be welcome in the state of Florida. Okay. Well, you listen to these recent bills. Then you tell me what this says about the Wade family. According to the Human Rights Campaign, Florida has passed extremely transphobic laws. I'll give you some examples of these traumatic laws. First, state of Florida, they have made it illegal for men to utilize the women's restroom. Oh my God, those dictators! How dare they take away a man's freedom to share a bathroom with the gender he chooses to identify with? I know it's every father's dream to have their teenage daughter share a bathroom with Phil Perv. The legislation banned what they call gender-inclusive restrooms. Now, this covers public and private schools, covers the workplace, hospitals, and jails. Basically, if you were born a man and you're living in the state of Florida, you need to use the men's restroom. The Florida Senate, they also banned gender-affirming care for children. Well, Casey, what the hell is gender-affirming care? I'm glad you asked, my fellow colleague living in reality. Most of us normal people, we are unfamiliar with the gender selection process. We confirm gender by the good old-fashioned eye test. We simply look down. If we have an outie, we're a man. If we have an innie, you're a woman. We also use the eye test when dealing with strangers. If I see someone with facial hair, I know it's Bob Griner. If I see someone using the assistance of a brassiere, I know she's a woman. Unfortunately for the shit fucks, the gender confirmation process, not so simple. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, gender-affirming care consists of holistic treatment for individuals that aligns their outward physical traits with their internal gender identity. Now, if you're an adult living in Florida, you still have access to these services. If you're a child, you're out of luck. You gotta wait until you're an adult. Now, me personally, I don't think that's unreasonable. Obviously, for Dwyane Wade and his husband Gabe, this presents a real problem. Where will Zaya get her medicine? Where will she get her hormones? Dr. Miami refuses to see her because Ron DeSantis will take his license and put him in jail. Yeah, that's actually true. If doctors in Florida defy state law and provide gender-affirming care to minors, they can lose their license and they can go to jail. According to Dwyane Wade, this is the reason he moved out of Florida. This is why he claims his family is no longer welcome. 10 years ago, there would have been zero need for these laws. 10 years ago, state governments, they didn't have to pass laws explaining to people which restroom they need to be using. Why? Because back then, people had common sense. Now, this is just speculation on my part. I don't know when Dwyane Wade moved out of Florida. Could have been yesterday, could have been 2 years ago. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. But I think he was concerned that he could lose custody of his kid if he remained in Florida. From what I understand with this legislation, if parents allow their children to receive gender-affirming care in Florida, the state, they have the ability to remove the child from the home. Now, don't take my word for it. I am not an expert in law. I'm just saying that's how I read and understood the bill. If that's the case, and Dwyane Wade was living in Florida, it's possible that could happen to him. Now, I highly doubt it would happen, but it would still be possible. I have said this before, I'm going to say this again. I feel bad for Zaya Wade. I don't like criticizing parents on how they choose to raise their child. I'm sure in all other areas, Dwyane Wade, probably an excellent father. I just cannot understand why you as a parent would allow your child to make a life-changing decision like this when it comes to gender. Not only do they not have the mental capacity as a child to make this decision, kids are constantly changing their minds. One day they want to grow up to be a football player. The next day they want to be the cheerleader. One day they want to wear the dress. The next day they're interested in the girl wearing the dress. Since when did adults start taking kids so seriously? Parents are supposed to be the voice of reason. They're supposed to do what's in the best interest of the child. Gabe and Wade, they have turned this child into the face of the transgender youth movement. We want our daughter to inspire other kids. Inspire them to do what? What is so inspirational about this? For the child's sake, I hope Dwyane Wade knows what he's doing. Being a teenager is hard enough. Growing up is hard enough. It's even more difficult when your parents are allowing you to make life-changing decisions and they're putting you out in public for the entire world to see it. But give me your thoughts. Dwyane Wade claims his family is no longer welcome in the state of Florida. All of my parents out there, what would you do if your child came to you and wanted gender-affirming care? I don't feel like I'm qualified to answer that question because I don't have a kid. I know what my parents would have done. Actually, I know what my parents would not have done, but what would you guys do? You let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.